On July the 21st, 2001, we had a field trip visiting some of the points on the Buckingham Palace Ley, which runs along the Mall to Buckingham Palace in London. See the video The Buckingham Palace Ley Line on this channel for full details of this ley. One of the sites visited was Horsell Church near Woking, Surrey, of which parts may date back to the 12th century, but faint circular indications in the small area behind the church on top of the hill seem to indicate there may have been a prehistoric site here. But the Buckingham Palace Ley seemed to be detected less powerfully here. It seemed to be overlaid by another going to Leith Hill, the highest point in Surrey. Amazingly, there also seemed to be prehistoric evidence at the Church of All Saints Woodham not far away, which is also on the Buckingham Palace Ley. The village of Woodham, adjacent to Newhall and Addlestone, has a long history, being mentioned in the Charter of Chertsey Abbey in 933, as having been part of the lands given to the abbey by the Saxon Prince Frithwald. The church, however, is relatively modern and about 3 miles away from the original hamlet on the edge of Horsell Common. It was built in 1894 when the then squire, Mr. Stevens, was dissatisfied with the churches in Woking, wanting something more Anglo-Catholic. There is nothing known to have been there previously except the common, although the adjacent 6 Crossroads junction was marked on the first edition Ordnance Survey map as a large multi-junction on the common. The Buckingham Palace Ley goes through both. When visiting the church, however, something unusual was found. The church seems to be partly surrounded by a circular bank and ditch. Older churches in circular churchyards, such as St Nicholas, Purford, are suspected by archaeologists as having been built on a prehistoric site. This one not only has the circular form, but the bank and ditch too, looking almost like a small henge monument. Can it be that this late 19th century church, with nothing known here before, was built on an unrecognised prehistoric site? The 6 Crossroads junction was marked on the first edition Ordnance Survey map as a large multi-junction on the Horsell Common. Roads radiate from it to Chertsey, Addlestone, Woking, Ottershaw, Chobham and Byfleet. The ley passes through it as well as the nearby All Saints Church, Woodham, and one of the roads, Woodham Road, not to be confused with Woodham Lane, which runs from Newhall to the church, is coincident with it in its first stretch. This road runs through a small wooded part of Horsell Common and seems somewhat reminiscent of the Mall. The first church on the site of Horsell Church was probably built in the 12th century, and parts of the wall may remain. Many additions, alterations and restorations were done in the 14th, 15th, 18th, 19th and 20th centuries. Even though the area at the top of the hill is very limited, the churchyard falling steeply away at the back. The site is striking and the church seems powerful, with strong head hum experienced. At the field trip on July 21st, 2001, the strange mixture of stones comprising the south wall was noticed, and it was theorised that some could be standing stones on an earlier site here. Faint circular indications in the ground behind the church were also noticed, and there were feelings that this could have been a hilltop stone circle. A powerful ley was dowsed crossing the church, but it was at right angles to the Buckingham Palace Ley, and strong concentration and filtering were needed before it was eventually picked up, very much more weakly.
Stones broken up into building blocks.
It's very strange because this furnace slag in this form was usually produced in the Industrial Revolution.
Well, I said what could have happened was we put a whole load of building rubble lying on the ground, and the builders just picked up the first thing they saw.
This is conglomerate.
So is this separate? Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was like a pudding stone. Yeah. Doesn't make sense, does it? It isn't even elegant. And if you go further up, you've got courses of stone on the next bit. You know, that don't match any of this. I just can't understand this building at all.
It's a very strange mixture of materials,
Isn't it? And I think different ages. See, look at that. And then when you get around the corner, it's brand new.
I wonder
And the roof's new.
if this we don't know that that door is in its original
No,
position.
we don't. And that's very clumsily put together.
Yeah.
That's not
So
properly built at all.
I'm wondering if the church was extended. Because this is a whole complete section, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps it was much cruder before.
Could have been.
Because that,
You would expect that to be dressed, wouldn't you?
that
It's like the rubble filling.
is furnace slag, and they didn't produce that in that sort of quantity.
See that's like a pudding stone at the top. Well, it could have been a Roman silkworks, and that would have kept the Roman tiles, Roman bricks.
Yeah. Even that shows sign of heat, doesn't it?
Yes. And here you've got quite a drop in the ground wall. Now I'm walking straight into it. Feeling quite strong. It's getting worse, it's getting worse. This is where you said, was it?
I started there.
Yes.
I came to maximum there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
there.
don't say it suddenly stopped there, but my
So you say the centre's there,
yeah.
and I say it's somewhere around here. So we're within a foot of each other, aren't we?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd say it's flowing that way.
And we got a diagonal on the church as well, so that's reasonable.
And
Alan
Jim,
also picked it up here. He came to a maximum point there, but he kept the tail off, which some people do.
Well, Jimmy, your line could be on the other way, the other direction, but it's being completely masked by this one if it's there. Can't pick it up at all.
On examination of the map, this other ley was found to be a very good one, passing through the ancient church site at Abinger. That building was rebuilt in its original style after being destroyed by a V1 bomb in the war, and Leith Hill Tower, the highest point in Surrey, with at least one other ley going through it. The line goes through a crossroads tracks at Valley End and then to St Lawrence Church, Chobham.
The clump of Scots pines on Staple Hill is still a symbol of Chobham, even though the trees were felled many years ago. A photograph taken in 1905 shows what the clump originally looked like.
Chobham Church.
And the font dates from the 16th century. It's only one of 3 wooden fonts in the country. St Lawrence, who was martyred for his faith in Rome in 257. Here for more than 900 years Christians have worshipped.
It continues through Horsell Church, 2 crossroads at Burnt Common, a track multi-junction near Gomshaw, and then St James's Church, Abinger. The original nave of this church was built in the 12th century, and it was rebuilt in 1220, after which the church was altered little until Victorian times. The church was hit by a German V-1 flying bomb during the Second World War on the 3rd of August 1944 and was rebuilt by Frederick Etchells in 1950. The line then continues through Leith Hill Tower and then on to a road track multi-junction with county boundary, Surrey, Sussex, near Rusper, and a large road multi-junction at Handcross. We visited the line again further south in July 2005 to see if it was similar at other points. Abinger Church was found to be a powerful centre, with another of its lays going through the nearby Norman Motte, and also going through South Holmwood Church on the E line, which is seemingly the widest and most powerful lay so far discovered, running from Laysdown on the Isle of Sheppey to Cape Cornwall, also passing through the Cerne Abbas Giant. See the video The Pitch Hill Project on this channel for full information on this. The interesting Mesolithic dwelling site museum nearby did not give any feeling of energy or dowsing reaction. The Horsell Ley was found and did have a slightly similar feeling to that felt in Horsell, though not so strong. It was also found on several roads we passed where it crossed. However, although it was just as strong at Leith Hill Tower, another large centre, it did not feel the same there. A stone was found on the line there, which had not been noticed on previous visits, and it ran along a coincident track from the tower. Also, a double bank and ditch round the tower was noticed, particularly visible from the top. On the tower top, the pointer plaque seemed to indicate that the line pointed towards Lewes in Sussex. On plotting it, however, it was found to pass east of the town, but goes through Cliff Hill, a hill of tumuli there. After Handcross, the line goes to a crossroads 1.5 miles to the southeast, a crossroads at Wivelsfield, and a tumulus at Cliff Hill. At the top of Leith Hill there is a sculpture by Walter Bailey that seems to illustrate the ripple theory of lays and centres, put forward in 1980 after seeing the Royal Institution Christmas lecture that year, in which a ripple chamber was demonstrated. When a vibrating ripple source was activated, circular standing waves were formed around the source. Where there were two sources, there were interference points where the circular ripples from each source met. These could be aligned in straight lines, radiating from each source. I speculated that lay power could work similarly, and thus be a question of standing waves from lay centres. It's strange that this sculpture should appear so close to the major lay centre at Leith Hill. Another line nearby was first found by dowsing in the field, was also checked and found significant. It was found to extend through Raisbury Church, which once again is in a circular bank. And Egham Church, a Saxon site and possibly a junction of a Roman branch road from the London to Silchester Road in Egham. See The Lost Roman Roads of Egham video on this channel. The bank of this branch road can be seen running away from the church, particularly visible in the snow. From a crossroads in Slough, the lay we're following goes to Raisbury Church, Egham Church and associate coincident road, a crossroads at Thorpe Lea, Addlestone Cemetery Chapel, subconscious sighting, a crossroads at Byfleet, a crossroads at East Horsley, a crossroads at White Downs, Wotton Crossroads, where it was detected by dowsing, the landslip, where it was also detected, at the diverging point of the main road from the line of Stane Street, where it was detected. The reality of lays and their energy streams would seem to have been confirmed on this trip. With regard to negative-positive feelings at sites, the evidence was not clear. Two sites exhibited it, and the other did not. However, it seems probable that such qualities are largely associated with particular places, rather than being transmitted along lays.